All right, guys, welcome back. This is part 79 of my presentation of Dinosaurs and Man. And at the time of this recording here, it's been some time since I've done a video. My wife and I, we have an RV, and we've been doing a lot of traveling this past month. And so on the whole grand scheme of things, as far as how things run through on my timeline of videos, it may not mean much of a difference because there may be already videos past this one here. And so, but at the time I'm recording this one here, it's been some time. And so, but we like to travel, and I do have another YouTube channel. It's called the Journey Thru-N-C. Journey Thru-N-C. And so at the present time, we're trying to stay in all 100 counties in North Carolina, at least one night in the motorhome. And we share a lot of things, fun facts about the area, any type of urban legends and ghost stories and stuff like that, and just neat places that we'll see in these counties. And so there's a shelf life on it once we're finished with it. I don't see us posting really any more RV stuff. It's just we're just sharing our adventure through that. And so, but presently I have 55 counties out of the 100 counties in North Carolina where it's finished. And so we've got the whole west side of that. So if you want to see more of that, I'll put a link in the description below, and you guys can check that out. And so, but it's a lot of fun. You know, I do like to get out and travel and explore, and that's always been a character trait of mine. And I'm a big hiker, and I like to backpack and stuff like that. And so, you know, I've always wanted a motorhome, and so this is just a bucket list thing that I've always wanted to have and do. And but we have a lot of fun with it. And but at any rate, we are going to start getting into, in this block here, we're going to start getting into dinosaur and human fossil footprints that have been found together. And what I'm going to do is, just like with everything else on this presentation, we're starting to get towards the end of this whole presentation, but we still got lots and lots of videos still to come. And so, but this one here is one of those things you're going to hear brought up, and it's very controversial. To me, I don't understand why. If you'll notice on the screen here, I've been saying this over and over again since I started this whole thing. The biblical worldview. You got two worldviews. You got a biblical worldview, and you have a secular worldview. The biblical worldview, of course, we're looking at everything through Scripture, through the Bible. What does the Bible have to say about our current existence on this planet? You know, what does it have to say? You know, how do you guide yourself? You know, every problem, guys, that we have on our planet, we can guide through it with the Scriptures. And so now, if you're a secular worldviewer, there's no religious affiliation. You don't believe, let's just say you don't believe in anything. You're just an atheist. You don't believe in God or anything at all. Well, you're still a secular worldviewist. And you don't believe that anybody had anything to do with us getting here. It just evolved. We're here, and when we die, that's it. And so, though I think that's a sad way to live this life because how hard it is, there is really no hope. No hope. You think it's just going to, when you die, that's just the end of your existence. And so that's the two ways. Now, when we get into dinosaur and human fossil footprints, it's not just a controversy between these two views, but it's also a controversy between creationists. There's some creationists that just don't believe it. They don't believe these tracks that we're going to talk about are legit. And so I don't know why. I just really don't know why. There's one reason that I will say is that with anything, you're going to have people that's going to falsify information to make some money. And so that goes with anything. If you have, you know, whatever career it is, if you've got somebody that's doing something they're not supposed to, does that negate the whole truthfulness on everybody else that's in that field? No, it don't. You just got a few bad apples in there. And so unfortunately with Christianity, you know, it hurts the whole bunch when you got a few bad ones. And so, anything that would attempt to elevate an individual based upon their standing or career or what have you, it hurts the whole thing. It hurts the whole thing. And so I used to be in law enforcement, and so you get a few bad apples in there and it makes everybody look bad. And so it's just the way it is, and so but at any rate, if you believe the Bible and you believe the literal 6 days of creation, that man and dinosaurs were created on day 6, and then afterwards you have that flood about 4,400 years ago, it's not far-fetched, guys, to believe that tracks do exist, but with humans and dinosaurs. Have they found dinosaur tracks without humans around, just dinosaur tracks that are legit? Yes, they have. And they've been validated as real tracks. And so, but if you put human tracks next to those dinosaur tracks, they're going to say it's fake, or they'll say the dinosaur tracks are real, but the human tracks are fake. And so now what this is just going to be the intro. We're going to have a few videos that's going to be the intro, and then we're going to start getting into some of the tracks. But this, let's look at some things about fossil tracks and stuff. These tracks and trails, they're called trace fossils. Trace fossils. It's activities of organisms. Animal tracks left in soft sediment, mud, their feet, tails, and other body parts leave impressions that may harden and become preserved. When an impression is filled with a different sediment, the impression forms a mold, and the sediment that fills the mold forms a cast. Other types of trace fossils include burrows and other dwelling structures, coprolites, that's fossilized feces, eggs and eggshells, nest and roots. Now, if this word right here called ichnology, that ichnos is it's Greek. It means footprint. It's the science that deals with tracks, trails, burrows, and other traces left by living animals. Ichnofossils are also known as trace fossils, the same thing. And so these fossilized tracks that have been found are what we call trace fossils. They're trace fossils. It's the trace. You can look at it as evidence of something left a track there. And so the trace that they were there. And so now I will say this topic right here is what originally got me into the creation ministry. And so long ago, I still study with them, but long ago, back in the mid-90s, I started studying my Bible from Genesis all the way through to Revelation. And while I was in Genesis studying with Pastor Chuck Smith, that's when he introduced me to man and dinosaur tracks, and I'm going to let you hear the audio of that. And so what we're going to do is, this came from his C3000 series, which the timeline on that was, he went through the Bible in 1985 through 1999. That's the distance of time it took for him to go through the entire Bible, verse for verse, word for word, through the entire Bible. It's a great audio series. You guys can order that. I think it's about $45 for the thing. But I want you guys to hear what he talked about. And this right here, guys, got me so excited about the topic. This right here is what got me into the creation ministry right here. Let's break away and let you listen to that.
I have the cast of a footprint taken from the Biloxi River in Texas. This footprint was found alongside of the footprints of a dinosaur, fossilized in the Biloxi River. And they have found hundreds of them intermixed with the dinosaur tracks, crossing the dinosaur tracks, and even imprinted within the dinosaur tracks. Now, this is, of course, a tremendous difficulty for the evolutionist, who have the dinosaurs living 100 million years ago and man coming on the scene about 3 million years ago. But here in the Biloxi River is proof that they at one time coexisted upon the earth. Now, this is a shoe for a real man. It's a size 18. I don't wear it. But here is the cast of one of the footprints in the Paluxy River. Now, interestingly enough, this shoe will fit completely in the... This guy couldn't have worn this shoe. See, the toe is still out the end here. Now, does that look like a human footprint to you? The scientists that were brought down to examine it, whose minds are set with the presupposition that evolution is true, could not define this as a human footprint because it was found in the footprint of a dinosaur. So it led this brilliant scientist to conclude, well, it certainly appears like a human footprint. It looks like it is a possibility, but we know it can't be. Now, that's real science.
You know, I remember when I first heard this, I pulled over. I pulled over on the side of the road and called Sandra up. I was driving a box truck making deliveries for pet supplies. I was headed to Myrtle Beach, North Carolina, and it was about 4:30 in the morning. I remember pulling over and going to a payphone and calling Sandra up and saying, hey, did you know that they found dinosaur and human footprints together? And so I was that excited. And it was after that I started doing more homework into the topic and ended up finding a book by John C. Whitcomb and Henry Morris entitled The Genesis Flood. It took me some time to find a book that actually talked about it, but these guys here had some of the pictures, and these are the pictures to the right are some of those pictures. Now, I do have a cast of these footprints right here, at least one of them. And so, and we're going to look at those footprint casts that I have, and I'm also going to be introducing you guys to another a creation speaker, very well known, and he did a whole series of messages on the human and dinosaur tracks. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing those videos for my Facebook people. I'm going to be sharing those videos as I'm going through my videos itself. I will be sharing his videos intermixed with mine also. His name is Ian Juby. And so you're really going to learn a lot of stuff. And so instead of trying to fix something that's not broke, I'm just going to go through my information and then let him share the information that he has. He did an outstanding job. And so probably one of the best videos I have ever seen on the topic. And so, but the proof is here. The proof is here. Either you believe it or you don't. And so dinosaur and human tracks have been found together. And so why it's such a controversy, I just really believe that it's just people just cannot get that thought out of their head about dinosaurs dying off 65 to 70 million years ago before man appeared on the scene. I just think it's been so indwelt and so ingrained in our brains that it's just so hard to separate the two. And so, but if you look at things in a biblical worldview, it's not hard to see how this evidence is just, it's right before us. You know, this is it, you know, and so, but, you know, and if you're having a hard time with this, just hold on to your seat because we're going to start talking about soft tissue, blood vessels, and blood cells that have been found in dinosaur bones. And so, but we're going to talk about, that's going to be towards the end of this whole presentation. We're going to get into that. And so, but you guys take care. I love you and be looking forward to the next one. Bye-bye.